So ordered. Chair recognizes Mr. Lawler from New York.
Governor Hochul, under your watch, New York has spent billions of dollars of taxpayer money providing free housing, clothing, food, education, and health care to illegal immigrants. Meanwhile, you're charging hardworking New Yorkers $2,500 annually just for the privilege of driving to work. Speaking of driving, when you ran for Congress, did you oppose giving driver's licenses to illegals, yes or no?
No, that was previous to that. It was in 2020.
You had a commercial running for Congress touting your position.
No, but the position
about
goes back earlier than that.
driver's
That's
licenses.
My point.
Did you oppose giving driver's licenses to illegals when you were running for Congress, yes or no?
At the time I did, and I'll tell you
Governor,
why.
yes or no?
I had a
yes
chance to go out and see a very rural district.
Reclaiming my
where
time.
mothers were being
If you ever needed a perfect example of why accountability matters in government, this exchange right here says it all. Representative Mike Lawler came prepared. He came focused, and he came armed with facts, and Governor Hochul had absolutely no answers. None. Zero. Every simple yes or no question suddenly turned into a 5-minute dodge and spin routine. And honestly, it was painful to watch. Lawler asked us straightforward things any leader should be able to answer. Do you support taxpayer-funded benefits for illegal immigrants? Have you ever actually called ICE like you said you would? Will you sign a bill that turns New York into a sanctuary state? And what did we get? Deflection, evasion, excuses. Everything except a simple answer. To me, this looked like a governor who knows the truth won't help her politically, and a congressman who refuses to let her run from it. And that, my friends, is why this video matters. So before we dive in fully, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button if you appreciate leaders who ask tough questions. Subscribe if you're tired of political doublespeak. Drop a comment telling me whether you think Governor Hochul was being honest or just dodging. All right, roll the intro. Let's break this down properly.
So ordered. Chair recognizes Mr. Lawler from New York.
Governor Hochul, under your watch, New York has spent billions of dollars of taxpayer money providing free housing, clothing, food, education, and health care to illegal immigrants. Meanwhile, you're charging hardworking New Yorkers $2,500 annually just for the privilege of driving to work. Speaking of driving, when you ran for Congress, did you oppose giving driver's licenses to illegals, yes or no?
No, that was previous to that. It was in 2020.
You had a commercial running for Congress touting your position.
No, but the position
about
goes back earlier than that.
driver's
That's
licenses.
My point.
Did you oppose giving driver's licenses to illegals when you were running for Congress, yes or no?
At the time I did, and I'll tell you
Governor,
why.
yes or no?
I had a
yes or
chance to go out and see a very rural district
Reclaiming my
where
time.
mothers were being denied the chance
Governor,
to drive
yes
their
or no?
kids
Do
to
you
the
support
doctor's
illegal
office.
immigrants getting
People were being denied the
taxpayer-funded
chance
health
to go to their
care?
jobs, and I understood the
Governor,
merits
please
of
answer
having
the
it.
question.
Governor,
I'm not sure there'll ever be a real question.
you were asked a question and you chose to try to
gave an
deflect.
answer.
The fact is you did support giving illegals driver's
was
licenses, oppose giving illegals driver's licenses. Now you support it.
Mm-hmm.
Governor, yes or no? Do you support illegal immigrants getting taxpayer-funded health care, yes or no?
We provide health care to people in need, including moms with new babies.
Do you support giving illegal immigrants taxpayer-funded health care, yes or no?
We support giving money, support
The
for
answer is
healthcare
yes. You expanded health care access in 2024
Yes, I did.
under Medicaid.
for senior citizens
Governor,
and
after the
moms with
election,
new
you
babies.
said,
I would do it all
reclaiming
over
my
again.
time. Governor, after the election, you said, someone breaks the law, I'll be the first one to call up ICE and say, get them out of here. Governor, yes or no? Have you personally called up ICE and asked them to get anyone out of New York?
As the governor of New York, I have an entire state police force
Have you
that
personally
carries on
called
my
anybody up
directions.
and asked ICE to get anyone out of New York, yes or no?
My state police acts as my agency and
You
my
have
surrogate.
not, correct?
When I say me, I'm referring to my entities such as the state police that
you're
handle
like
that.
Governor Cuomo, I am the government?
That's your
position?
characterization, not mine.
Yes or no, should ICE have been called on Sebastian Zapata-Cali?
Can you refresh me as to the circumstances of the case?
He's the individual who burned the woman alive on the train.
Of course,
Should
they
ICE have been called on him?
NYPD was handling that situation.
Should ICE have been called? That's my question. Yes or no?
If there was an arrest made, he should have been deported after conviction, yes.
Okay. So, Governor, when you were sworn in 2021, you signed an executive order keeping many of Governor Cuomo's executive orders in place, including EO 170. Interestingly enough, you did not include EO 170.1. Are you familiar with EO 170.1?
I don't have it in front of me. I have thousands of executive orders.
I have it right here, Governor.
Sure you do.
And what you did, you waited several years until this year, January 16th of this year, in which you finally signed it and reinstated it into law. Why did you wait until just 4 days before Donald Trump was sworn in as president to sign EO 170.1 into law? And to refresh your memory, it basically mandates that federal immigration authorities cannot enforce civil arrests in New York State buildings. Why did you wait several years to reinstate that?
Because we had a high level of confidence that under the previous administration that people going into the courthouses, whether they're victims of crimes, witnesses of crimes, would have their rights protected. I had no
In other
assurance
words,
that that would
you
happen.
believe they would not enforce federal immigration law, and you were concerned that President Trump and his administration would enforce federal immigration law?
We thought it was important for victims of crimes and witnesses to murders, for example, that they have access to courts without being threatened or intimidated.
Yeah. Speaking of crime, more than 3,200 illegal immigrants have been arrested in New York City for committing crimes while living in taxpayer-funded housing under your watch, Governor. Governor, are you aware of any law or executive order that would prevent a citizen of New York, a citizen of the United States, from facing criminal or civil enforcement in a state building?
I'm not aware.
So you think that citizens should be treated less than and have less protections than illegal immigrants?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
Our state laws say we cooperate in all criminal cases. I've made that very clear over the last
Yeah, but you're not doing that.
7
That's the
hours.
reality. Governor, do you
Truth
support,
is, we
do you
don't
support
help
the New
them with
York
civil
for All
enforcement
Act?
because civil
Governor,
enforcement
reclaiming my
isn't-
time. Do you
Go for it.
support the New York for All Act?
I'm not speaking about hypothetical
No,
bills.
Governor, this isn't a hypothetical. There was a sit-in in the state legislature today by activists blocking state senators from coming into the chamber. Do you support the New York for All Act? It's yes or no.
I will tell you this, I get about 1,000 bills put on
Do
my
you
desk
support
probably by
the New York
midnight
for All
tonight,
Act?
this is keeping me from doing the work of the people back home. But I can
Governor,
sit here
you've
as
done
long
a
as you
terrible
like.
job as governor. It's not keeping you from anything. Frankly, New York is better off with you down here and not in the state. The fact
don't think we're better off with you here.
The fact is, Governor, you will support the New York for All Act. You will sign it into law if it passes the
I have
state
no
legislature.
confidence it's going to pass.
You have no confidence it will pass.
I don't
If
know.
it does pass, will you sign it?
I'm not able to keep an eye on it. They're voting on
Will
it
you
with the
sign it
issues now.
into law if it passes?
I have about 1,000 bills that get
Will
passed
you
every
sign the
year.
New York for All Act into law if it
You
passes?
have to wait
yes
and
or no?
see, like every other bill.
We have to wait and see?
Yes,
Governor,
because
you
I've-
can't take a position on the New York for All Act. It would put into state statute that New York is a sanctuary state. That's why you're here. That is the exact reason why you're sitting in front of us testifying, because of your disastrous EOs, your disastrous pro-criminal policies that have resulted in the death
Chairman.
of New Yorkers.
Mr.
That is your failure. And the fact is that you can't even answer the question.
No, the
Will
reason
you
I'm
support
sitting here
the
is
New York
because
for All Act?
Republicans are
Gentlemen,
looking
Yes or no?
to
time's
deflect from a
expired.
big, bad, ugly bill that's going to hurt people.
Governor.
in your
Governor,
district.
gentlemen,
will
time's
you
expired. Governor, are you going to
support
answer
the New
his
York
question
for
when you
All
sign the
I don't know
bill?
what he's asking me.
He asked if you were going to sign the
I
bill.
don't ask anybody in the state of New York. I never say how I'm going to vote on decide on a bill until it lands on my desk.
You are the
Thousands-
governor of the state. You are supposed
I'm
to
well
lead.
aware.
You
Well
want
aware
New
I'm
York
the
to
governor.
be a
Gentlemen's time's
sanctuary state.
expired.
It's shameful. It's shameful. You can't even answer the question?
When it lands on my desk, I'll do the proper
Mr. Chair-
evaluation.
Chair
You'll do what?
recognizes.
That's
you
what
have-
we
You'll
do.
do what?
That's how
You'll
you become
sign
a
it into
governor.
law.
You'll
That's
never know.
exactly what
Okay,
you'll do.
Chair recognizes
Sign it
ranking
into law.
member.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I have a number of unanimous consent requests.
Okay, now that we've all seen the full exchange from start to finish, let's talk about what actually happened here. Because this wasn't just political theater. This was a complete masterclass from Mike Lawler in how to hold a public official accountable. Let's start with the biggest thing. 1. Hochul simply refused to answer basic questions. Lawler didn't ask trick questions. He didn't ask policy hypotheticals. He asked yes or no questions, the same questions any taxpayer in New York deserve an answer to. But each time he pushed for clarity, Hochul avoided the answer like it was radioactive. He asked, "Do you support taxpayer-funded health care for illegal immigrants?" And instead of answering, she started giving vague emotional statements like, "We help people in need." That doesn't answer the question. That's PR language. And Lawler was absolutely right to press again and again until she finally slipped and admitted the truth. 2. Lawler exposed the inconsistency in her immigration stance. He pulled receipts. Literally, he reminded her that not long ago she opposed giving driver's licenses to undocumented immigrants. She even ran ads bragging about it. But suddenly, once she got deeper into state leadership, she flipped her stance completely, without explanation. Lawler was right. That's not growth. That's political convenience. 3. The ICE question was devastating. Hochul once said, "If someone breaks the law, I'll call ICE myself." So Lawler asked her straight up, "Have you personally ever called ICE as governor?" And again, no clear answer. She tried to hide behind agencies, behind state police, behind entities. But Lawler didn't let that slide. He exposed that she never did it. This matters because it shows a giant gap between what Hochul says when she wants to sound tough and what she actually does when she's in power. 4. The Executive Order 170.1 trap was brilliant. Lawler caught something most people would never notice. Hochul kept every Cuomo-era executive order except one, the one restricting immigration arrests in state buildings, and she reinstated it only 4 days before Trump was sworn in. Lawler didn't even need to comment. Her timing said everything. He basically exposed that the governor's concern wasn't safety, wasn't victims, wasn't the justice system. It was politics. Plain and simple. 5. The crime statistics broke the entire argument. When Lawler brought up the 3,200 illegal immigrants arrested in NYC while living in taxpayer-funded housing, Hochul had no defense. None. That number is real. That number is shocking. And that number completely undermines her "everything is safe, everything is fine" narrative. Lawler wasn't fear-mongering. He was stating facts. 6. The final meltdown over the New York for All Act was a climax. Lawler asked her, "Will you sign the bill if it reaches your desk?" That is not a trick question. It's literally her job. But instead of answering, she starts pretending she doesn't even know what he's talking about, despite activists protesting that exact bill that same day. She dodged because the truth is this. If she says yes, she looks radical. If she says no, she angers her base. That's why she avoided it at all costs. And Lawler called her out beautifully. Final thoughts. What we witnessed was someone who came prepared, Mike Lawler, versus someone who came hoping to avoid accountability, Kathy Hochul. This wasn't bullying. This wasn't grandstanding. This was oversight. This was transparency. This was a representative doing the job the people sent him to Washington to do. And honestly, more members of Congress should be this direct. Call to action. End of video. If you value accountability, if you value honesty from elected officials, and if you want to see more reactions where we break these hearings down piece by piece, hit like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next breakdown. And hey, whether you agree with Lawler or not, you can't deny one thing. Today, he exposed a governor who could not answer the simplest questions. See you in the next video.